this, black that, black when, black how. I was black then and I'm black now. Black fist, black power, black pain look like black rain.
You have a question?
I can go in.
Yes.
Okay, Chief. Basically, you've been explaining, again in layman's term, the organogram or divine order, if we will put it that way. Ne? If Kgosigadi rea back to the Zodiac, ne? Versus the 12 tribes of black people, right? What is it that we're talking about in terms of the Zodiac versus the 12 tribes of black people, and also the word of God, it symbolizes again the red monkey, right? So I would like to think how the red monkey kisoko, am I correct?
Yeah.
There is also Tau Haram, am I correct? Now, if Tau Harama was the first prophet, so to speak, and then Akiria, the knowledge, or rather the knowledge we feel and such. Why then is this knowledge lost when it comes to black churches? Right? Before Makwa Atagamu, or were these churches not influenced by the word of God?
Okay. You see, this thing here, 12 tribes of black people, is confusion. There were never such tribes. There were 12 tribes of Israel. There were never such things. What happens is the universe is divided into 12 houses. These houses are inhabited by 12 spiritual or light beings called the servants of the sun, Shemshu, Haran, and in Greek Shemshu or Horus kings. The writers of the Bible, of these Western people, they take the 12 Horus kings, like the 12 tribes of Israel, which means the 12 tribes of Israel were used to replace the spiritual beings, to make things material and not spiritual. And then from there, these 12 tribes of Israel, they are the ancestors of humanity. But the humanity that they talk about are human beings who are whites. So, get distortion of reality. Because another thing is Tau Harama Thotimus. You see, when they talk about the lineage of Adam, there are 10 gods, 10 ancestors. Those ancestors are actually African ancestors. Is Ptah, Ra, Shu, Sheb, and so on. And then one of those 10 ancestors is Tau Harama, Thotimus, who was in fact the scribe and messenger of the gods. So all knowledge of those gods, the custodian thereof is Ken or Thoth Hermes. So he is the teacher of humanity. Now, Makua Habatla, the first thing that they did was to take Karaism, which is the spiritual or divine light, which is Karaism is also called Hermeticism or Kemetic Gnosis, to honor thought healers. And now, by define our, this is paganism. And then they introduced a new reality, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was an initiate of the great Kara society. And in the great Kara society, that's where you find priests like Imhotep, Manetho, Amenhotep, Ramus or Messias, Ammonius, Saka, Proteus. This Kara brotherhood, Makwawargi, the white brotherhood, and that white refers to light. It should be the great light brotherhood, not white brotherhood, whatever white, so that it's associated with that. Yeah. And that brotherhood, in honor of thought healers, also came to be known as the Bohemian Society. Yeah, or the Gypsy Society. And so that knowledge, they suppressed it. But Haithaila, they took it and Hellenized it or Europeanized it. Now, in the church, Muslim and so on, you will not find original things. You will find distorted things. And therefore, the courage, Israeli America. Yeah. And then Carvijal Shem, Detroit Europe. But these people were spiritual people. But during their time, you couldn't talk pure spirituality because
witchcraft,
yeah, you wouldn't be recognized and they would suppress you. So they try to cover up their traditions, guide into the Bible. But you can see they don't use the sun to suggest. They use the star. Amen Ra. The star is Amen Ra. The Valvashisa, the dove. The dove is a symbol there, the queen of heaven is the soul. So our shoes interested. Now, you look at Keragam Buddhism, they use the 8-pointed star. What is that 8-pointed star? At the center is the Queen of Heaven, who is the mother of the Bull of Heaven. The Bull of Heaven, Kiramasrit, who emits 7 lights. Therefore, that star is the mother, the son, and the 7 sisters who appear as the 7 Pleiades or circumpolar stars. Pleiades or circumpolar stars. So we are fed with distortions. But now, if you take Wushem, they will say that they are superior to Mogok, which is not true. What they do, they identify people who have a gift of communication with the ancestors. Baba Dira Barut. When you go there, away we have Umurutu, and that Umurutu goes into a trance. How alien a trance communicator with his or her ancestral spirits. Wow, prophet. Kimawa prophet, kill him all. You see? Kill him all. So Africans, Bana, Baronge, Mathole, they are the ones who remain connected with the spiritual world, not in Kgosigadi.
Thanks, Chief. Though, when it comes to Bogogo, if you look at South Africa, the spiritual initiation is currently well known. And a lot of South African blacks buy a go, right? But obviously, then who we are, when you are gifted in this, maybe as per the tribe is or if then maybe they'll come to me after the initiation journey or period. But now this information, this knowledge, now I was fortunate enough for more in ability to learn about charism. Then I went to initiation ya bongaka. Bongaka ba moya. It's like motoya school I tutor for bongaka ba million, right? Why is it that this information high yoko mafito, or is there a level beyond Yabugo?
And is it maybe on the vendor side, the payee side, is this information available? Because I know about twice and like I said in the beginning, I didn't access like like or something very new to me, even though I'm paid, you know. So is it also the effects of social media? Is there a colonial agenda as well on top? Why is this information not the...
It is there. Okay. You see, the disciples of Lord Ken were called Wonabakuru Awaseke.
Okay.
And there were about 7 orders. Okay. And then they will say the most ancient ones are the people who live in the physical form by choice, who can depart and come back. Those are the most advanced spirits.
The gods. The gods.
Yes. And then there are those who are masters. They've mastered the knowledge. They become teachers. And others are disciples. And others ke uzangona. And then it's like that. But you see, well, in every...
Sorry, Chief, before I feel sorry. Can we go through the seven orders, and then you can continue now?
No, I just want to say that there are 7 orders. Okay. I can't give you all the names now. But all I'm saying, there are these different rates. Now, it depends on how, but in every tribe in Africa, there are 1 or 2 representatives of these disciples, of this called the Bohemian Society or the Gypsy Society. So the disciples of Hermes, not Hermes, are there. But now, if you have to be taught it depends on omo level in. Now the other problem is that the church has destroyed our knowledge base. And then Zulus, they tend to be very conservative. And then conservatism, they keep the things. The people who prided themselves for so on and so forth. So that's where the problem is. But there's no African group which doesn't have these things. But to get the right people in all these groups, not hard. That's why when most people have a Yanyake, Wayapafun, and Mozambique. Those people were Mozambique, Mandawu, and so on. They kept lots of information. Or Zimbabwe, there are people who kept these things.
I think I can go the next part, but before that, how do we restore this now? Because not to be ageist, but your generation is probably gonna go. So how do we impart this knowledge? Because it'll probably an event where we want to talk about parenting the gifted child, and maybe, but how do we expose children to sides? And then in the whole decolonization situation, as a people, because also these things that are not working for us, amongst ourselves, they feel like a unity thing. So what's the plan? What's our plan?
I was invited to birthday and I was never there, or when I went there I didn't pay attention. There are too many artifacts and drawings and things like that. So I had to speak. So I decided I must base my speech on just what is there, explaining the different artifacts and things like that. And these people were surprised by, we never knew that this type of thing exists. And then the organizers have a working relationship with vets. I went to vets on the 14th this week. I addressed the students. When I spoke, their lecturers were very frustrated because I was really rubbishing the so-called Western things and things like that without insulting anybody. And then those said no, they want a partnership with Carroll Institute. But before I was invited at the University of Limpopo. I addressed staff and students. They suspended all the classes so that everyone should come and listen to me. And then I spoke. They immediately said, no, the university must house the Carroll Institute there. And then they want a partnership with Carroll. So I said both at Turf Group and Vets. At Carroll we have what we call Carroll Heritage Schools. And already we have one in Venda, one in Judges Kloof, one more migrant. We have been invited to Katlehong to set up one. You see, Makwa, they beat us country one. Now they have what they call cure. schools. They established the Kiro schools everywhere, but the content is the same. But right now, everybody wants everything in their name. Like I used to work with one guy. He is basing his teachings on the Zodiac.
Yeah.
And that's what I shared. But you see, then you confine yourself to that Zodiac. But as I said, Zodiac is the boundary between the spiritual and the material world. So what we should be doing, you have a talent, you have some information which I don't have. She has the information which I don't have. For instance, she will give me some literature and say, read this, what do you think about this? So the more as African people, we can learn to work together.
Okay.
Because none of us has everything.
Okay.
So we need to pull what we have, and that will take us to a common starting point. Then from there, we can go out to South Africa, to Africa, and say, let's come up with an African agenda. The politicians say that they have Agenda 2063. That is a political agenda. Where is the spiritual agenda 2063?
Okay.
So we need that. Quickly to say that Mujudging, if you read a book by Professor Chilezi Marwala, he was vice principal here in University of Johannesburg. He says when they were growing up, they were taught that Mujaji is the incarnate daughter of the Queen of Heaven. She is the earthly representative of God on earth. And that's why the Mujaji dynasty is called a sacred or divine dynasty. So, in other words, the Mujaji dynasty is a religious, a spiritual institution. Now, it becomes very insulting when people come with a fiction. History Mujaji for entertainment. Right now we have been using that institution as like when we have the Vatican in Rome, where Mary and Jesus, that's the basis of the religion. And the basis of our religion is the Queen of Heaven, who is a daughter on earth, and that daughter Mujaji. Now, if you are coming to say, only incestuous relationships and so on, whereas what it means, these things are symbolical. You see, I said that the Queen of Heaven has 3 children, Osiris and Isis. Now, Osiris is the sun, Isis is the moon. Now, the sun and the moon are brother and sister.
And husband and wife.
And husband and wife.
Yeah.
They give birth to Kara. These are spiritual phenomena.
Right.
Now, to reach the ordinary people, you talk about brother and sister marriage, but we are talking about the marriage between the sun and the moon. Now, when they say it's fiction, what fiction? Because they don't have a deeper understanding of this. Then they put characters there, and then they put a man with the horns there. and then they say it's Mukoto, and then they put another girl there who says, no, she doesn't want this child. Those are spiritual things. Now they have been bastardized by the Mandrofu and multi-choice, which means that the business conglomerates who have taken our land, they've taken our natural resources, now they are taking our heritage and make it something to entertain people with, which is very insulting, and is also contrary to, it's a violation of the rights, because our constitution protects the culture and religion, including African religion or spirituality. But because we don't have money, when they bastardize our culture, you go to court, you are faced with a white judge who has been indoctrinated, otherwise they will not even listen to a story. They will tell you that these people have already lost a lot of money, and then they protect the money, not our culture, religion, not our spirituality. So which means then even that constitution serves people with money and not those who don't have money. We wanted to go back to court, but if you go back to court, you lose the case. They say you must pay the expenses of the other lawyers. And where do we get the money to pay? So at the end, these things are for the rich. Our argument will never see the light of day, because whether you have black judges, Indian, colored, or whites, they were educated in a European context. So they will never accept the argument.
Is there hope for us as a people?
There's a hope for us because we have to educate our children. In other words, we have to create a new curriculum which speaks to us and educate our children, because at the moment our children go to Model C schools. Even if it's not Model C schools, you go to our schools, look at the matric books, they will show you a baboon on four, and a baboon now lifting itself, a baboon becoming a human being. That's what our children are doing. But the white people are not teaching their children those things. We don't know, given our Adam. Yeah, so we are in trouble because right now our people are poor, they are unemployed, they don't have time for these things. They don't have time.
Not really.
So where, Chief, you say we need a new curriculum again, and you are saying there's hope for us, right? And if there's hope for us, the greatness and so we the ancestors, where are they? The ancestors of us, Again, we come from greatness, Chief. I mean, Egypt is the last civilization of our greatness, right?
Where are they?
Where are these ancestors that can make us great? And
They
what
are
is
you.
it?
What are you doing now? You are doing their work.
Yes, I'm doing their work, but you are talking about a collective impact in terms of curriculum and money. Okay. How do you want people to help you? Maybe how can we help Gara as healers? How can we help Gara as black business people?
You have just said that we needed a book club. That's a practical step.
Okay.
Because if we establish the book clubs, we will reach many young people. then you create a new paradigm. But black business, they will put their money in soccer, not in the development of the mind and things like that. So the question is, how can you educate them? Because our black business, they want glory. They want to appear on television. Look, the money that he puts in soccer on the whole continent. And then you ask, how much does he put in intellectual development? Maybe he needs somebody who can alert him to that. I don't know.
Is he also not maybe a victim of the system?
It is also.
Yeah. Before the Chief, you speak of African spirituality, right?
Yeah.
And as it stands, we're starting with divide and conquer. So what is there a correct way of doing it? Because nobody wants to leave what currently makes sense for them now. So like what we're doing now is this exposure to the true African religion or true African spirituality, because I couldn't how do we get to, because the agenda E1.
See, we can only get to one agenda if we start at a spiritual level. Because if you start here, somebody would have 100% Zulu. And if you try to find out what is a Zulu, Zulu was the name of one man.
Yes.
And who gave birth to a son who became a violent guy, but who conquered Mazulu. Now the question is, are these people who are running around calling themselves Zulus, real Zulus? And then Ukrea Mupedi from Moamakau, Azamaya, Limpopo, after war he conquers people, and then from there, Baba conquered North. Are those people babies?
Yeah.
So you go to Limpopo, there are people who came from Zimbabwe, across Limpopo, found other people south of the Limpopo. Those they found Vanda, which means they come from outside. They are foreigners. Now people are proud to say they are foreigners. And then you go to Valovedu. Valovedu, they are rainmakers. And how Yagabula to pay tribute. Now, when you pay tribute to somebody, because we receive a tribute. So it's not identity.
Oh.
And then Valovedu, they come from Mamutapa, who were Varozi or Valozi. The word Varozi comes from Kuroza, to practice magic. So they are Varozi because they are rainmakers, because they were skilled in astronomy, in astrology, in metallurgy, and so on. So it's not identity, it's a description of what they know. But the identity is that all of us are children of the sun. And those who say they are not children of the sun, they must come and tell us where did they originate from. Then using language, we can move towards spirituality, and from there we can move into the common agenda.
Thank you so much for tuning in. As I'm here, I'm still a little bit dazed. Information overload. But Ralebocha so much for this. We'll probably expand into some more. Some things are familiar, some things are familiar because they were demonized as well, you know, like Kulube, like a lot. Peter, but thank you so much. Please do like, please do subscribe. Ask the questions. We have access to the Kara Institute. Ask questions, please share this knowledge, and do subscribe if this resonates with you. But if you're here, it definitely does resonate with you. I'm Kemaat, and we're out. African peace.
Black this, black that, black when, black how. I was black then and I'm black now. Black fist.